Alright, that was a quick ban. That was an insta-Diablo ban. Guys, we are in game number 1, another best of 5, and what the hell is happening? Like, these guys are just speeding it up today. The winner bracket has started. It's a best of 5, China versus Korea. C8, the Chinese team, is playing against some of Korea's best players that you've already have seen in HGC times. We have Kyoja, Hero, Gonda, Hyde, and in this case also Unicron for Team Tsunami. And I am a little bit hyped for this, because this is the second round, the semi-final of the winner bracket. Another best of 5 series, of course, here on the Chinese server, where we're currently playing. And we get a Chromie ban on top of that too. Now, I look at this and I immediately say red team highly favored. I mean, these guys are absolutely nuts, and granted, the competitive scene in Korea might right now not be at its best, but still, those are some insanely strong and experienced players that are playing here, so it is going to be fun. We had a lot of good games already, and one of the Chinese teams that stood out to me was a Seoul. They lost to one of the Korean teams, but then did well in the lower bracket, so I'm really eager to see how they will progress through the lower bracket here. But, well, with all of this, we currently have Vala as a first pick, and we see Jojo and Malfurion. So, what are we going to get with that? Johanna and Malfurion locked in very early. The Johanna pick, something that I didn't really see with such a high priority, but if we've learned anything from the previous matches that we had, then it's definitely that Malfurion is still very much so valued within the Chinese and Korean meta. Stukov, as so often, has been banned out. And we see Manduin, alright. I find it very fitting, by the way, that Anduin has a Robin skin. I find that totally fitting. So, if there was ever just someone that only fits into the sidekick role, it was definitely Anduin. I mean, if you would picture him in any kind of Marvel comic, there is no other role that he can play but Robin. That's pretty much it. So, yeah, our little sidekick is going to help out here. We have on top of that also a Nuburak. So, Nuburak diving in, Vala with potential follow-up, leads me immediately to believe that we could also see Reign of Vengeance here. We've seen a lot of strafe recently, of course, but if you start a good stun chain, Vala can, with the Reign of Vengeance, also start lock targets down a bit more. Now, we're very early in the draft, so of course it's a bit too soon to tell, but it will also hinge on whether or not we're seeing C8 play, let's say, Greymane. Since Greymane has been, well, banned, so yeah, that's not happening. Greymane is probably one of the heroes that is very typically played within the Chinese and Korean meta and doesn't have as big of a spot in the Western scene. Now, I'm saying not as big a spot because just lately, and particularly during the playoffs of the X-Cup summer, we've seen some players start to pick Greymane up again. Nick is one of them. But before that, Greymane, not really someone that you would see a whole lot. And the priority that he gets here on the Asian server is much, much higher. Now, Tigers is taken once again, even on Battlefield of Eternity, a strong pick for the Chinese teams. We've seen that reflected in the previous Korean tournament that I commentated a couple of months ago. Blaze also, so the good old Johanna Blaze frontline. Quite strong, honestly, pretty tough to break through it. Johanna can also help out with her blind. And we get Hogger for Kyoja, and last but not least, Gonda with the resets here. So Li Ming and Vala. That's two good heroes against the Immortal, and also a lot of damage in the team fights. Potential resets for Li Ming could be pretty brutal. Not as tanky at the front, but more of an engaged composition that is trying to just jump in and get a kill. So you're not trying to go for that sustained battle. You really want to pick your fight, make a call, go for it, and then take a target down. Yeah, and the last pick for the blue team, we get Hanzo. So a bit more damage against the Immortal. You have some poke damage, you have the arrow coming out. So there's a lot of CC that they can stack on the opponent. Game number 1, everybody. It is a best of 5. The teams are eager to move on to the winner bracket final. And let's see which team is going to take the initial lead here. Is it going to be Team Tsunami, the Korean team, or will it be the Chinese team C8? Let's go and find out. Battlefield of Eternity.
Prepare yourselves for
game time! Game number 1. We are on Battlefield of Eternity, and let's get this party started, because we got China versus Korea. And on the left side in blue, the Chinese team, we have our front line set with Johanna and Blaze. For damage, Hanzo and Tychus are playing a role here, and Malfurion as the support in the back line. But again, for Team Tsunami, we have, of course, a lot of names here that all of you guys know very, very well from the times of HGC. Gondar, Hyde, Hero, Kyoja. I mean, it's getting nuts here. Unicron is playing Nubarak. We got Li Ming and Vala for damage, Hogger on the side lane, and then Anduin is the one to sit behind everybody and just, yeah, I was gonna wait a little bit and try to help out, especially, of course, with his trade. I love that Gondar is rocking the Master Skin. This is one of the best Master Skins at the beginning of the game. That was back in the days when you could buy them for 10,000 gold, which was actually a lot. It was really, really a lot. And it's gonna be pretty sexy to see what he can pull off with that. We have an arrow build for our girl, so she's starting to stack. And our 4-man lane has been established. Gondar with a continuous poke, and Li Ming is trying to get the angle too. So it's already moving over here. Yeah, some of the teams are a couple of mixed teams. I mean, you can see one of the players over here rocking the Hangul, even on C8 side. But again, mainly Chinese team. We have very few mixed teams this time, by the way. So a lot of the teams are either full... Oh my god, that was a nice one. Anduin, the first one to fall here. And Nubarok also in trouble. And yeah, there we go. The Beetle gets taken down. And that's a great opening for C8. I mean, damn son. Double kill and an insta move into the camp, with all of the control that they just acquired at the bottom of the map. Well done. Really well done, and I love that they are immediately trying to exploit the situation here. That Anduin goes down first doesn't really surprise me. Little crybaby. Didn't stand a chance in that particular encounter. And yeah, he's already yelling and demanding a safe space. Moves to the top of the top of the map now. Is a little bit unhappy, you know, that he got targeted at the bot lane. So he's like, I'm out of here, and he runs topside. Yeah, Anduin's always the thing. It's like, yeah. I mean, he was always a little bit of a wiener. Anyways, 2 kills to 0. We got the stacks coming together, not only for Hanzo, but also for Vala with 7. Gondar is so far doing fairly well, considering that they're on the back foot here, and he needs to stay a bit out of range. We have currently also the level 4 talents kicking in, for the blue team at least. And with that, we get the Master Assassin once again. All about the attack speed, all about the passive. Some of the Tigers players recently have been coming dangerously close to completing the quest though. But I don't think that anybody really succeeded. At least not in the games that I commentated live. So yeah. With the first objective popping up, we also have Vala continuing the build on level 4. As you can see, the repeating arrow is starting to kick in for her. And dominance for Li Ming is going to give her even more sustainability, a little bit more survivability in a lot of these fights. And wow, that got clutch here. So Hero barely makes it out. That would have been a real dangerous spot. If you lose Li Ming in that situation with 10 seconds on the Immortal timer, that would be a bit of a disaster. I gotta admit that the blue team is off to a very, very good start. Now, this is still all pre-first Immortal. Still something worthy of pointing out. So, level 7 talents are gonna kick in very likely after the halftime show. The blue team is currently slightly ahead, but of course there's an enormous amount of poke that we have for Team Tsunami, as already pointed out during the draft. Vala in particular can do a whole lot of work, especially when she locks her additional talents in. For now, Gondar is trying to stack and does that really well. He's already sitting at 11. Uses, of course, the repeating arrow for that. And they're going to go for a kill against Hanzo, and they lock it in. Nice chase. Hanzo down. Bit of body blocking on Jojo. She nearly falls, but gets the Iron Skin cooldown up just in time. And now there is a lead for Tsunami as they're moving straight up for the Immortal. And they should be able to lock this one in without any problems. The kill against Hanzo was fantastic. Dropping Jojo low and forcing her back, of course, helped. And Nubarak needs to be careful that he doesn't get sniped here, but he's still totally fine and able to dive out since he saved the cooldown on the burrow charge. So as it stands, the level 7 kicking in a bit faster for the red team. A lot of damage done by Kyoja up at the top lane. And now with level 7, oh, that did not hit. Yeah, that was dodged out quite nicely. But with level 7, we should now also see Vala popping the extra talent in. Here comes the engage. Vala coming through with a hot pursuit, by the way. And over here, the subterranean shield immediately. But yeah, it's party time. They want to break through and do as much damage to the bottom structures as they possibly can. If they can dive with a Nubarak and maybe even lock in a kill, that would of course be the dream. But since the top lane is still working very much so in favor of the red team, they should be pretty happy with how things are going here. They take the fountain down, the fort has taken enormous damage too, and at the top they were able to break through the wall. So things are definitely starting to look up for Team Tsunami, despite the fact that initially they were the ones losing multiple heroes here. And Gonda is still doing well. He's at 16 stacks on the level 1 already, so not wasting any opportunities. Nice grab by Hyde, I like that, so good job by him. Anduin with a quick trade to make sure that Anubarak at the front line is safe. Again, Anubarak is a fantastic tank. Anubarak is amazing in the hands of a good player. If you have a good Anubarak player, he can do a lot. You are one of the best engaged tanks that exists in the game. You can set the team up very nicely. You have a lot of CC that you can use. At the same time, of course, if you have a bad Anubarak player, it shows very, very quickly, because then he's just gonna get farmed 6 days to Sunday and will just die over and over again. It's not really the type of tank that wants to have a sustained battle at the front line. You are way more interested in initiating into the opponent's team, finding a weak spot, and then letting the damage dealers follow up on it. Fort already taken down, as the blue team was busy down at the bottom of the map in an attempt to take down the camp, and now push through too, but they lost a lot. Because it's not only that the top fort has fallen, they lost now fountains on both lanes. The bottom fort is not looking too good either. Here's the stun, the follow-up, and... oh, 50 HP! Gonda wants the kill, and he gets it! Vala comes in, takes Hanzo down. Li Ming is getting attacked, but there's just not enough damage for Jojo to seal the deal, and instead we have Vala with another quick hit. They're taking Tigers down, they drop the fort, and they are just going for all of it. They go all in with the push here. They try to get the kills. Here's the strafe as the level 10 kicks in. Gonda strafes his way out of the fight, and they're following up with another kill on Blaze, and even the chase on Johanna yields another kill. 5 down. That was a full 5-man wipe that they just executed, and all of this is happening with level 10 on their side. It's now more than a level lead for the red team, and they are murdering. This is Korea power right here, everybody. The Koreans, once again, incredibly powerful. These players have tons and tons of experience, of course. They played 4 years in Heroes of the Storm, and they missed still the halftime show. So the opponent can actually do damage, and everybody's just pinging us like, hey guys, what are you doing? Why are we dropping this to 50-50? Everybody thought that someone else would deliver the final blow so that this animation would run through, but instead they lost half of the HP on their own Immortal because of it. So just as I praise them, Caster Curse kicks in, and they're screwing things up a bit. Slight mistime by them, and now an opportunity for the blue team to pull through here. Anduin with the bubble, he went for the Holy World because he has all words. Tremendous. Vala is down as the blue team does tremendous damage, and just like that, C8 is on the way back into the game. Tsunami is screwing up a little bit. Yeah, that was totally unnecessary. All they needed to do is have one hero do a little bit of damage on the Immortal to start the halftime show animation, and it would have worked out for them. Instead, they now lost the Immortal and they lost one of their players. So that was avoidable. Uncharacteristic mistake for this team, and they will have to pay the price. To be fair, the shield isn't really big. I mean, what is this? That's 800 hit points, that's one combo, and then you're done. But still something to consider here. So off we go, 3 kills to 6. And yeah, this one is not even gonna get the fort. I would be shocked. Hero links out, quick teleport away. But as you can see, the Immortal is about to fall and has barely moved through the gates. So not really a lot of damage that he can dish out here. Immortal done. And yeah, Gonda, he needs to be a bit careful, he's a little bit low. The damage output up to this point, 29,000 from Vala, with a good strafe that we saw earlier, and the rest of the players here doesn't really surprise anybody. We still have them with a 1 level lead. 6 kills to 3 help, of course, a lot. The passive experience gains that have been increased through the destruction of the 2 forts is helping as well. And they're using the talent advantage that they just established to invade the opponent's camp, and apparently C8 is willing to fight for it. So, as it turns out, with only 4 heroes here, good old the Fleabag down at the bottom hasn't really made the move into the battle. They retreat. We have Anduin pulling the safety net and just engage with a quick trade. So, as it stands now, we got the siphoning arrow in on level 13. We also, on top of that, have, of course, a focus into the trade from Anduin. It's going to go into the double pull on level 16. We have the falling sword on the other side. There's a couple of combos that can be executed by C8 as they are trying to get a lead in this best of 5 series. But it's already pretty cool to see that they are fighting back here. Now, they got a bit spanked in one of the earlier fights, but part of this was also an early level 10 that kicked in for Tsunami. Made it, of course, much easier for the red team to win that battle and then escalate things even further as they chase down every single hero on the other side. Now that we are on even footing again, at least in regards to talents, this might become a bit more interesting. Since 10 seconds, we're gonna have another Immortal spawn, and that will tell us a lot. Because, structurally speaking, C8 is still behind. We're now 10-11 minutes into the game. So if that Immortal is taken by Team Tsunami, they have a chance to go for the first keep of the game. And it seems that C8 wants to go for the defense instead. And Uberak has to be cautious, but Anduin didn't even have to go for the trade here. They're still poking. The arrow goes wide, doesn't connect. Yeah, NA arrows, even in China. But Anduin is still dying. Anduin is down and everybody's in the choke point all of a sudden, and that is really bad news. A jet propulsion hits Li Ming full force, and if you get murdered by that tank, that is a lot of bruises. So Li Ming goes down. We got Kyoja rushing away, but now 5 kills to 6, and C8. They're starting to take some serious inventory here. Yeah. 1 level behind still, but now they can go first and foremost for the halftime show. And then they can also try to not only lock the Immortal in, but maybe even follow up with an additional kill. They need to close that experience gap somehow. So they have to check that one out. But yeah, for now, what do we have here? We got our Immortal burned down quickly. Vala is the only one trying to do counter damage. The rest of the team is defending, but here comes the engage. Falling Sword is moving through. The Fleabag jumped in with a Hoarder pulled. But once again, it's Vala does most of the damage here. She doesn't have level 16 yet, but they are still getting Hanzo. It's Li Ming that gets the reset, and they're moving in for a second one. Down goes number 2, number 3, number 4. They're taking nearly everybody down. 16 on the board, just as it looked like C8 might be able to slowly come back into the game. The fight turns completely. I mean, look at this. Hanzo dies first, Li Ming gets the reset, she pops them with one Calamity move after another. They take 4 heroes out, 10 kills to 5. A big gap now in experience once again. And of course, another Immortal in the hands of the red team. Vala is still the one with the most damage in the game, 46,000 for her, but Li Ming with the 31k comes in a close second. Tons and tons of damage done now. And Kyoja with his thingy, what's the doggy called again? Hogger is at the bottom of the map and just pushing the wave clear out. I mean, he's at 100,000 siege damage. He's just sitting at the side lane time and time again, and he's winning that battle against Blaze handily. He dominated the top lane earlier against the Fire Bat, and now he's doing the same thing at the bottom of the map too. So right now, the push through the top lane, the shield is gone on the Immortal, the 16 talent advantage is still a reality though, and Team Tsunami is attempting to come in to take keep number 1 of the game. 38 stacks for Vala on the arrow, I might add. So we get very, very good stacks here. But the keep is gone. Vala is stacking even further. And this is starting to do some murderous damage here. I mean, damn son. That is not too bad. So right now, just stacking and stacking and stacking. 7 extra damage on the initial impact every single time that Gonda hits home, and he's now sitting at 40. So he is really able to slowly but steadily chunk them down, especially of course when he moves in with a repeating arrow on top of that too. Another hit, and yeah, Gonda is crushing. Oh, big arrow. Oh my god, that's one of the longest arrows that I've seen. That arrow, whew, baby. That thing was like flying and flying and flying, and it never hits anything. So yeah, kinda unfortunate for them. Now, if you burn that cooldown, then better burn it now, because by the time that the Immortal is back up on the map, they're gonna have the arrow back. This is one of those ults that you can definitely YOLO out in that moment, and you will still be able to rely on your heroic ability whenever the next objective comes up. But yeah, a little bit of an opportunistic arrow there. Now, they're still trying to apply some pressure. It's level 16 versus level 16 talents right now. So that's what you're looking at. Vala, by the way, with a Seething Hatred here. So not going into Manticore, Seething Hatred instead, even speccing further into that arrow build that we're seeing. And for good reason. I mean, he's been doing so much damage here. And they're coming in with even more. 45 stacks now. Vala with a little bit more. Falling Sword. Unicorn has to be careful and is dead. And the timing couldn't be worse. Just as the Immortal is back up, they lose their frontliner. Gonda, another stack as he has to vault away. Hogger also trying to escape, and they're getting chased. They're getting chased, and they're getting chased hard. But there is some pressure topside as the catapults are starting to move onto the core. So time is of the essence here as both teams are trying to chunk the Immortal hit points down again. A 2-level advantage for Team Tsunami is not making this any easier on the Root team, especially now that they're losing Tychus. A bit late on Malfurion's ult. Tychus is down, and guess what? So is our girl Jojo. Another strafe, another kill, and they're just crushing everybody here. Another 4 heroes down, and they are going for core apparently. I mean, the shield on the core is nearly lost as is, so they're just trying to end this and take the lead in the series. Nicely done, kill after kill. The core is falling, and look at that, we even have Archon. They went into Archon, we get the Acrobat as well, and this is the laser show. This is the lead, this is game, set, and not quite match yet, but Team Tsunami at least takes the lead in the best of 5. GG. Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV. Game number 2, we're on all direct pass. So, we're headed into the second game of the best of 5 series. We're still in the winner bracket, obviously. Meaning also, whoever loses this best of 5 drops down into the losers bracket. They're not out of the tournament yet. They could fight their way back into the grand final. And I gotta say, these two teams, they definitely know what they want to do, don't they? I mean, it is ban after ban, pick after pick. They are speedrunning this shit. It's crazy. So quick bans against a lot of tanks here. Nubarak gets banned out after he had a lot of success to drive the engagements in the last game. We have also some global attention. Stukov, as he wasn't banned out, gets instantly picked as a first choice. So that does not shock. I would think that we're gonna get also Malfurion. Now, Aldrich Pass is a pretty big map, and technically you could think, okay, that maybe changes the equation a little bit, and Malfurion doesn't see as much of a priority. If this was the European scene, if we would look at Western teams here, chances would be very big that we get, let's say, Brightwing. But we have Vala again, and we get also Garrosh. By the way, just for the nitpickers, we have one Korean player on the Chinese team, and we have one Chinese player on the Korean team. Just pointing that out. It's still a Chinese team against a Korean team at the end of the day, but just for sake of being completely transparent here, that's currently the case. So yeah, but either way. Now that we're heading into this, ooh, we get Mei, alright, yeah, we get our girl on the Frost map, and we get Hanzo again, because his arrows, you know, I mean, he saved a lot of his arrows in game number 1, as you could see. He just fired them widely around the map and didn't connect them, so all of those precision strikes, they have now been saved up for game number 2. That's probably what's happening here. And yeah. Are they banning Malfurion? That's my question at this point, because as we have seen, Malfurion with consistent bans on Stukov has been the top priority pick as far as supports go. In this particular game, Stukov made it through the bans, so he got insta-picked, and that leaves Malfurion open. But also, do the Koreans go into Malfurion? We saw Kyoja with Anduin, and he did a really good job with him on the last map. Brightwing could be an option, at least it would be in the Western scene. There's different metas, of course, that apply. You've probably picked up on some of the priority changes already, as we went through the games in the first round of the tournament. And the ban goes to Lucio. Alrighty. Lucio gets banned this time. Malfurion, therefore, wide open. But are they even going for it? Is that even going to be a thing? So, yeah. We got Kyoja, Hyde, and Gonda still waiting for their picks. Just reading through the player names is crazy. Like, Tsunami, they have such an insane lineup. I suppose the same is true for Team Fly. but this is just nuts. There's Anduin again, and we got Dehaka. So with Falstad banned out, they still want to have some globals on the map. Dehaka is of course quite strong here. And there's not really all that much left if you're counteracting, or if you're trying to counteract the global presence that Dehaka gives the red team now. So what can you go for? Not much, honestly. So you have to really go for crisp rotations, unless you want to go for a bit of a blindside move here with something like the Vikings or Abyssal, but I don't think that's happening. We Rel instead, and Chromie! Yeah, there's a bit of an absence in general of Abyssal and Vikings in the Korean and Chinese meta. Vikings actually have a place in the European meta at least now. It's not like they're like highly prioritized or anything, but there's certain maps where they definitely have their place and get occasionally picked and sometimes even banned out. So now with the last pick, we're looking at Gonda. Aldrich Pass, our second map. The lead, of course, goes to Team Tsunami. They've done a great job in the first game. And it's a Tracer pick! Surprising me, honestly, even more that we didn't get the Malfurion pick after all. But anyways, Anduin obviously not bad either. Aldrich Pass, map number 2. Let's head straight into the second map and see if Team Tsunami can extend their lead, or if C8 is going to put a point onto the scoreboard now. Game number 2. The blue team, the Chinese team, on the left side of Aldrich Pass, is starting things with Mei and Urel at the front. Now for damage we got Chromie in the back, and we also have Hanzo. Potential arrows could always be fired out here with Stukov following up on the CC that comes from Mei in particular. On the right side of the map, Team Tsunami with a lot of the old HGC Koreans. They are rocking Garrosh and Dehaka, so Kyoja is going to try and use the macro game to the advantage of the red team, whereas Garrosh is trying to prep for the kills. Anduin is going to attempt to help out with the heals, but for the damage we got the girl power in the game. We got Vala and Tracer. Good stuff. And this time also a very quick change in build, because now it's a focus into the multi-shot setup. We've seen a lot of arrow builds actually in this tournament. Battlefield of Eternity, that's where arrows are, well, more... like, you would expect the arrow more so being played on Battlefield on Eternity than on any other map. But at the same time, we have seen plenty of multi-shot builds on Battlefield of Eternity after the recent couple of patches too. And in this particular case, we have in this tournament now seen plenty of arrow builds on all kinds of maps. But Hero at this point is going through with the multi-shot on Aldrich Pass. No real big surprises with the level 1 talents. We got a bit of extra vision for Chromie as she's heading on level 1 straight into the Time Walker's pursuit here. And yeah, on top of that, the Undoral normally is also in. The camps, obviously, you always want to take them as quickly as you can. There's already vision granted by Chromie too, so they're just double checking if the red team is covering all their bases and going for this camp right away, or if there's a chance to move in and invade that. Maybe disturb them if they're late on the pick, which they're not. Bit of a miss on the bomb, but outside of that, just the early game skirmishes, nothing insane. Gonda just has to like move back a bit on Tracer. Now, of course, they swapped a few of the heroes over too. He was the one playing Vala on the last map. Hero at this point is still sitting in the middle there, just trying to go for the defense here. And as the first objective is soon going to be announced in roughly 30 seconds, keep in mind that most of the time the teams are waiting this out quite a long time. Level 7 is usually the earliest when you see someone go for the prisoner camp. But we've honestly seen games where even at level 10 they didn't really push into it just yet. But that's another quick kill, and that is the second time now that the first blood in the game goes to C8 as they take Anduin down. So apparently we have him channeling his inner Lauber here. It's a little bit surprising, and I never really thought about it this way, but if we're honest about it, then we gotta say that Hyde is apparently the Korean Lauber. Comes in and dies within the first 1 or 2 minutes, and then the real game starts. So there we go. Going full Lulba on us with 2 kills to 0. C8 starting in exactly the same manner that they did the last game. And as I say that, the 3rd kill comes in. Boy, the blue team is angry. They got mad. What's happening here? These guys were not happy losing game number 1, not even a little bit. They come in swinging with 3 kills. And that's a little bit bonkers. Good for them. Now, the first objective is up, and since they've been able to do so much damage early on, C8 is moving in before level 7. Very, very early. Not something you normally see, but they will have an early level 7 talent, and if they can hold that spot a bit longer, we might even look at a very early game cavalry to do some damage here. Yeah, the interrupts are coming. They have to fall back for just a second. They don't have level 7 yet, but they're still doing an enormous amount of damage. And Tracer is down as Urel hops in. Another kill, 4-2-0. And they're not stopping there. They try to go for Garrosh once again. He survives with, what was that, 100 hit points? So, yeah, good job. I am impressed. That's a lot of aggression here. We got the parting gift into the pulse generator, the lurker strain for the Haka, and they're locking this one in. First objective. That's pretty much a new record, honestly. 4 minutes into the game, and they have the first objective moving through the map. And a half level lead. A bit more than that, even. Not shabby. That is quite the opening for C8. Definitely different from game number 1. Total different situation right now. Yeah, and some attempted damage on Hanzo, but he still gets out. They were trying to come through with the final hit, but couldn't. And now, as the cavalry pushes, there's a chance to take some of the structures out. Especially since nobody is even topside helping anyone with the defense. It's only Rel that's sitting there. But since they are burning down the mid lane so quickly, they now have a shot to obliterate this. As you can tell, though, we have the fountain going down for sure, and even the fort is taking damage. The wall is already destroyed. That's the 1 level lead now for C8. And at the bottom of the map, there's a bit more damage done. But everybody else for the blue team is currently sitting in the mid lane thinking like, you know what? We're gonna break through that wall and we're gonna take down that fountain too. That's more sustain lost to Team Tsunami. And they really suffered here. They lost the fountain at the top, they lost the fountain in the middle. So in both of these lanes, there's not a whole lot of sustain left. And that can be very tricky when you're heading into these fights. Good drag against Mei, but she should be fine. Gets flipped. And she slide out, and indeed she does. Should also still have the trade available. So they're closing it on level 10. And this is getting a bit dangerous for Team Tsunami. I think after... Oh, another kill! Too far out! And there's the double. 2 kills in, there's level 10. Insta arrow against Anduin. And he is dead. His corpse thrown around a bit in Chromie's ult. That is steamroll that we're watching here. Damn, son. 7 kills to 0. The fort destroyed. Rotation down to the bottom of the map. They could go boss. They could go for another fort. They could try to go for the Haka here, which seems to be exactly what they're attempting to do. Especially now that we're having Mei moving in as well. Yeah, they are really in trouble. This is another kill. Garrett is coming in to help. Oh, maybe it's not a kill. Yeah, that snowball missing was a problem. So, Mei... so much for that! The Haka was like, I'm alive! I'm alive! I'm gonna kill you all! And then he died. So now the Haka is dead, and they can go for the boss. Level 10, the blue team is going for it at the bot lane. The red team decided that the best thing that they can do now is go towards the top and take a boss themselves, which is probably true. But look at the difference in kills. It's nuts. 8-0. 8 kills to 0. Hero is pausing the game after how hard he got spanked in the last few fights. He has trouble sitting, so I think he's asking for a cushion right now, just to make it a bit easier to play through the rest of the game. And I can totally understand that. I mean, if you got your ass kicked that hard in these team fights, then that's just what it is, you know? So they're sitting up at the top now, still trying to go for the boss here, and they should be able to lock this one in. But damn, son, is that a game. Now, as we're having the bottom boss push, it should result in the fort here taken out. Towards the top, it's a bit of a different picture because this entire wall is fully intact, so there's not even a bit of damage that has been done previously. So C8, they have a lot of potential to rotate up, save this quite easily against the boss, and just defend, which they're likely going to do. As mentioned, the bottom fort should fall one way or another, and this is going to make things a bit tricky. But the next prisoner camp is coming up in 20 seconds. So then we're going to focus on the objective. Ults are, of course, now being picked up too. This is what we're currently seeing happening here. Yeah, Gonda is starting to make his way back down to the bottom of the map. Not even trying to push here. And yeah, you can tell this one doesn't stand a chance. Like, it's not even close. We might instead even see some damage on the keep. Don't think that it's really going to come to that. Tsunami is going to have a big interest to deal with it. Nice vision again, just double checking if someone is maybe waiting in the bush and trying to set up a trap and a gank. But instead, the boss now gets focused by Hanzo and by Mei, and that results in only the wall being tickled and the fort being totally fine. They're even taking down here at the bottom left the next camp, and it will be a play for the next objective once that they hit level 13. So C8 is absolutely dominant here. Tsunami has shown multiple times in the previous game that whenever they are with the back to the wall and they're getting pressure, they have what it takes to turn the fight around and pull ahead. They pulled off multiple 5-man wipes. If they can do that again, that would help them to start a comeback, but with the talent disadvantage, yeah, it's always a bit tricky, right? So they are not even trying to do that. They're just sitting here saying, guys, we need the soak experience. Let's use the Haka a bit for global pressure and at least take this one. But they are in trouble. They need a fight, they need a good one, and they need kills. There's no way around it. If you're not able to take map control again by killing a couple of heroes and exploit the death timers, then you are in deep shit, as we say in professional circles. So right now, there's still level 13 missing for them. The objective gets locked in. Cavalry once more on the move. And Dehaka, now that the blue team starts to rotate towards the top lane, also has to abandon his hope and dream of taking that fort down. Easy wave that he still obliterates here, but now it's time for the defense. So now they need to just set this up in the middle of the map. Top lane fort should fall and try to defend properly here and not lose too much. You can definitely sacrifice some of these walls at the keeps, but you should try and let the keeps survive here. Anyways, now that that's starting to burn this down, they're focusing it very, very quickly in the middle, as they should. But that gate is already gonzo, and so is the tower. So nice work done by the first one. This one is going to fall. Bottom of the map, they need to also take care of this. But they're going for the fight. Arrow is already out from Hanzo, and the kill against Stukov. The first kill for the red team. Woo! Nice. Nicely done. Applause for Team Tsunami. Finally getting a kill in. And no perfect game for C8. But as mentioned, they haven't won this one yet, one or another. So now that they're getting a little bit closer for Tsunami, maybe they can bring it back. They're already focusing straight into the middle. Gromi is waddling away. And Gonda is zipping in, trying to get the kill. Even the strafe is coming out. But they just can't lock them down, can they? They're trying against Mei, but I don't think that's going to happen either. But maybe now, as we have the connect from Garrosh, there's the flip. Mei slides out. Where's the drag when you need it? And there's Gromi. Well, it's Tracer, not Gromi. But yeah, both are short. So the kill comes through. And that is kill number 2. And all of a sudden, they nearly closed the gap in experience. Not quite, but they are not too bad here. That's 8 kills to 2, and look at that gap. This is, by the way, a perfect example to show you some of the experience here. Now, keep in mind, one team has killed 8 heroes, the other one has only killed 2. But because the 8 heroes were taken down in the early game, the hero experience that C8 gained is 4,400. Whereas the red team, with those 2 kills, is now more than 2,000 experience points that they locked in. So that's kind of crazy. They have 25% of the heroes killed of the opponent's team, but it's 50% of the experience just in that category. Shows you a little bit how important it is to kill heroes in the late game when those levels are a bit higher, how much you can really get out of it and how quickly it helps you to close an experience gap. Now, you look over towards the passive experience, that's also pretty widening, but the minion experience is heavily in favor of Team Tsunami, and this is really where Dehaka comes into play. Dehaka side laning has helped them a lot. He's at 13,600 experience, and macro is just an insanely huge factor in these games, and it's showcased right here with the experience lead. This entire gap of passive experience and hero experience is pretty much closed simply by Dehaka running the side lane the entire time. So yeah, well done. Now, either way, 16 versus 16 talents, so it's time to shine for Team Tsunami. This is the moment where they can try and fight this one back, especially since we now have the Seething Hatred in. No Manticore either. Once again, no Manticore. Seething Hatred instead. Plus, in addition to it, we got the Glyph of Faith. So you can now rely on the Leap of Faith a bit more often. And yeah, they're even going for the boss down at the bottom. Now Vala is moving towards the top, so I guess they're just going to go for a counterplay here, trying to take the boss out. And they're going through full vision. Okay, so they're showcasing this. They're saying like, yeah, we don't care that you know, but maybe they should, because that boss is already claimed. You gotta 5-man this quickly. The Haka isn't here, Urel is already on the move, but yeah, they got the firepower. They got the firepower to make it happen. They're coming in to take it. But it's the objective again that the blue team is focusing on. C8 is making a move for the third objective of the game. The prisoner camp once again gets attacked here. And yeah, they're trying to take it. What's kind of interesting too is that Tsunami was, to my knowledge, the one that picked the map. So given that it's their map choice, it's not going all that well. Always assuming, of course, that C8 opted in for first pick. Pretty much every single team worth its salt does. Oh, Urel! Oh, the arrow insta-kill against Vala. Straight to the face. Vala gets hit by the arrow and just explodes. Hanzo with a real nice connect, and now they go for Garrosh, and he dies. I mean, he stayed alive for a long time, but it was just not enough. Gonda gets also followed. He might be able to make it out, yep. But that, of course, doesn't change what's happening around the next objective here. The bottom keep has nearly fallen on Tsunami's side. C8 is now in danger of losing some of their top keep. But yeah, this one is incredibly low. And once that you start to remove the armor shields from the boss, you can always go for a backdoor move too. It's 10 kills to 2. Hanzo obliterated that top boss. The waves are still doing some damage, but he should be in a position where he can save this one. And it's just nasty. Objective about to be taken. There it is. And with 19.5 on the board, C8 is really fighting to tie the series. Yeah, they're in such a good spot now. Half a level away from 20. The objective moving in. A Storm Talent push with the cavalry is going to be so strong for them. The damage output from Hanzo is at 46,000. Vala's trying to catch up and she can't. Ooh, if they catch Kyoja, yeah, okay, he moves away. That was also clutch. If they're a little bit faster and they can somehow interrupt. But honestly, that rotation down to the bottom of the map really hurts C8. Because now we got the first one of the cavalry already taken down. The bottom keep would have fallen one way or another, in my opinion. So them focusing on this one is a bit strange. The Haka is still at the top. I don't believe they can go for core. I feel they really lost an opportunity there. They got a 15-minute objective and they didn't do anything with it. Now, you can even let that one slide. The boss alone is going to take care of it. Only one armor shield has been removed. They need to still defend this in the middle. The Haka is doing his thing as he goes for additional minion waves so that they get level 20. But that's a pretty decent position for Tsunami to be in, given the circumstances and how this looked. That light bomb on Gonda didn't do anything either, so I feel that communication wasn't really the best here. But now we have level 20 talents on both sides, and that allows them to fight back a little bit. And the Haka is, of course, now also coming back into battle. But keep number 2 falls. So they get the 2 keeps after all. Another play attempt for Garrosh, who's low, but survives, for now at least. Vala went into the Farfly Quiver. Bit of a long-range poke now. No Manticore, keep that in mind. Seething Hatred instead. And Anduin hasn't made a move yet either. So they're just poking this out. The arrow connects with 2. One of them Garrosh. And Garrosh is about to die. This time they get him. Garrosh is down. Anduin is also in trouble. And Hanzo just crushes them. Hanzo gets finally deleted by Tracer, but every single time that he appeared on the scene, the threat level was rising. He did such a fantastic job blocking these kills in. And he got another one right here as he drops Anduin. So now we have 12 kills, 2-3. But the blue team is not willing to push for the core. Not yet, at least, that is. Anduin still without the level 20. Still hasn't picked his next one. Prisoner camp is coming up in another 26, which means that by the time it spawns on the map, 2-3 heroes will still be missing. But yeah, it's a party. They need to take this one. Wait, what? How? May down? That shouldn't have happened. If you are in a 4 vs 3 situation in that spot, you should not lose a hero. Especially your tank, so that was kind of strange. But yeah, anyways, middle is still pushing a bit. All the way top side, we got Urel in her position, pushing the lanes out slightly. Now the objective is of course now up, and we have 5 on the map against 4. So they can go for the boss, and this could technically be a double boss play. Because let's not forget, this is not the only one. This one is going to spawn just as they finish the other one. 10 seconds are left. So they have a chance to go for a double boss play. And I think the blue team realized that a little bit too late. So the blue team is now on their move towards the top in an attempt to take this boss. But not only do we have the Haka down here, but also they got plenty of time to rotate up. Yeah, Hanzo, they're not quite sure if they want to take this one. They're much faster on it though than I expected. Hanzo, honestly, it's so easy to forget how brutal Hanzo is in this mercenary damage. It's insane. Yeah, Hanzo, every time, really, I just underestimate this guy. I'm like, yeah, he's gonna be fast. But he's not gonna be that fast. And you see it and you're like, holy shit. So they get a boss, and that boss marches towards the last keep on the side of Team Tsunami. Good pull. Good pull by Anduin. Yeah. Oh, there's another one. Anduin, are we gonna have one? Yeah! Anduin with another pull out. He's good at that. One trade after another. 16 kicking in, helping them with it. So yeah, good stuff. Anduin, you old virgin. Nicely done. I gotta say, as much as I hate the character from a lore perspective because I was tortured with that stupid clip in China as it happens, I like what he brings to the table in the actual game. I think he has a fun kid if he's on your side. Not so much fun when you're playing against him because he just ruins one kill opportunity after another. But he came through. Now they got that light bomb engage, at least technically. Can they maybe make a move here with light bomb tracer or whatever they want to use? Yes, the snowball first of all. Isolation, Vala is dead. They try for the counter kill and it does not work. Once again, Team Tsunami is on the back foot. They are getting crushed, absolutely crushed. This is not the game for them. Their draft is not strong enough. The backliners have massive trouble. Even the front line is suffering. 13 kills to 4. The top keep in trouble. Hanzo goes down. They get the counter kill, but they also lose Anduin. The Haka is being assailed, and so is Garrosh. And they're likely going to get both. They already dropped Garrosh. Now there's only 2 heroes on the map. And I guess even if they don't get a kill, they're going to go for core. And the slap, slap, slap as Stukov comes in and drops Tracer. And ladies, that's it. That's it. The 5-man wipes. C8 comes in with a big bang on Aldrich Pass and takes down Team Tsunami to tie the series. The best of 5 is tied. We're heading into game number 3 of the winner bracket semi-final on a 1-1 score. Nicely done. Kudos to the blue team. Well played. And they lock in the W on Aldrich Pass. Game number 3, and we are going to see very, very quick bans and picks for the majority of the draft. I mean, generally speaking, these guys are fast, but someone dropped out of the lobby in the middle of the draft. Apparently there was a bit of a connection problem, and therefore they have to redraft. So it is going just one bam after another. Mephisto ban out is still interesting to me because the ban on Mephisto is wild, considering that Mephisto for the longest time wasn't really a part of the Korean and Chinese meta, and it was more so a thing that you occasionally saw in Europe with Make playing it, to an extent where some teams even target ban Make's Mephisto on certain maps. But as we're heading into Infernal Shrines, there's a great opening here for the blue team as they have a lot of AoE already with Johanna and Vala. But Kyoja going into Sonya here, that was really interesting when it started in the draft. Now they are picking a Nubarak together with it. And that makes that front line a bit squishy, and it really begs the question, are we going to see Wrath of the Berserker? Is this going to be a full engage setup where you're trying for Leap? There's a lot of CC already, so Leap as a follow-up and then extra damage would be kind of nice, but it would force you into a certain playstyle here too. And the one question that hasn't been answered before that one player dropped was whether or not they are going to draft a third melee hero. They could always add Urel here, they could add Blaze, Leo is about to be picked by C8. They have Anduin, so they can save any target that is on the shrine trying to fight, and with Leoric you are adding even more wave clear. So this is a well-rounded lineup that they're showcasing. And since they already have a point on the scoreboard, as you can see, they've shown that they can take Team Tsunami down. So big shout out to them and kudos, because that series is getting real interesting. We have a 1-1 as we're heading into game number 3 of this. It's still the winner bracket, so whichever team loses, it will drop down into the losers bracket and still has a chance. There's our Hanzo pick, and it's Genji, so they go for the Shimada brothers. No third melee. That is being run here. Okay, me likey. It's an interesting one. And with that, what are we getting on the side of the blue team to finish their draft? They still need some extra damage. How are they dealing with Genji? There's a lot of engage. I mean, there's really a lot of engage that exists on the other side. You can really just dive in with the entire team. So do they go a little bit more passive? They go Deathwing. We have Deathwing as our last pick as we're heading into game number 3. Infernal Shrines is the map. C8, everybody against Tsunami. Let's head straight into the third map of the Best of 5 series. Game on! We are on Infernal Shrines. On the left side, Deathwing came in as the last pick, so we got Deathwing, Leo, and Jojo that can take the presence on the shrine. We have Anduin and Vala. I mean, Anduin, of course, is save everybody here, but Vala, she is going to just carpet everything with multi-shots 6 days to Sunday. On the right side of the map, then again, we got Team Tsunami, the Korean team, currently playing things with the Shimada brothers. Gonda and Hiro are playing the two of them. We have a Nubruk for the engage. Sonya could follow up also with a Leap. We'll see if she opts into Wrath of the Berserker instead and tries to take the more sustained position on the shrine. But we have an arrow build. I gotta say that the builds that are being used on the heroes on Vala are a little bit wild in China. I have nothing against the arrow build. I think it's quite strong. Multi-shot though has big advantages, and most of the European teams have decided that they will prioritize multi-shot in nearly every scenario, including Battlefield of Eternity. We occasionally still see the arrow build, and again, it can be strong and it can make a lot of sense, but this is Infernal Shrines. And on Infernal Shrines, you normally just try to go multi-shot because you are pretty much guaranteed to not only hit minions towards the objective, but also a lot of heroes whenever there is a fight that breaks out over the objective, and that will give you stacks, 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 and even more AoE damage. So interesting to see that Vala goes into an arrow setup right now, and I'm a bit curious to find out how much she can get out of all of this. So yeah, we're going to keep our eyes a bit on Vala as she headed into the puncturing arrow on level 1. We already have the Laws of Hope here for Jojo. In the meantime, top side, this is where the battle between Leoric and Kyoja's Sonya currently happens. So part of the rotation is Deathwing. He is part of that. Sonya is heading into the Tough as Nails on the level 1 talent. We still got the Emerald Dreams from Malfurion, so that's not a surprise either. And the Agile Dismount is in, as the two Shimada brothers are of course going to try and do damage, particularly to Vala, if they can close the gap there. And Deathwing, we're going to keep our eye on him too, because he's one of the heroes that's going to attempt to just create a little bit of space for her. Vala is fairly well guarded by all of them. But yes, obviously a huge presence that can be established by C8 on the shrine. But game number 2 made things really interesting. Tsunami, I had them pegged as the favorite in this one, and they dominated large parts of map number 1, even though they struggled occasionally. But on map number 2, we saw a very, very different game. So very intrigued to see which team can pull ahead here and lock in the second victory in this best of 5 series, because C8 certainly showed that they have what it takes to take them down, and that they have a lot of fight in them. Would be kind of cool if they can even pull ahead here. So far, whenever we saw these Chinese, Korean tournaments, it was mostly the Korean teams that did well, at least through the winners bracket. Right now, the early level 4 for Team Tsunami. In this case, we get the Dragon Claw, and we got a little bit of spin to win with a Hurricane coming in. And Vala, of course, following it up with a repeating arrow after initially she specced into stacking. Yeah, Hans over here. Careful, my friend. There's the Neo Peasant as well. And what else are we getting? Down at the bottom of the map, they're still trying to go for a couple of camps. They're trying to go for the waves. First objectives coming up. Teams are going through the motions. They are not having a big advantage for either one of the teams here. It's not like someone was able to get the early kill. Not like on the last map on Aldrich Pass, where C8 all of a sudden walked away with one kill after another and just started to farm them like mad. Now it's the objective that will decide who pulls ahead and who takes the first Punisher, of course. So yeah, there's that. But off we go. So we got the rotation from the bottom. Now there's a camp. Deathwing will have to stick around a bit longer. And they're starting to poke. So the blue team is taking the initial lead. They have already defeated the Shaman camp from Team Tsunami. But now that Hanzo and Genji are united in the little fight, it's party time. And Deathwing is going to join this too. Gonda's already a bit low and forcing Hai to focus on him. Genji needs healing. What a surprise. I know, you're shocked. But here comes Kyoja up at the top. Deathwing is moving in, eats the spear right away. But they have to poke this down slowly because now C8 is taking a significant lead on minions. They are 19 to 11. And they are fully established on the shrine too. They got a much better position here. And they're trying to utilize it. While Genji is getting focused. And Vala is trying to lock in another hit. 31 stacks to 18. At this point it seems like it is just a done deal, right? Level 7 is dropping faster for the red team, but that doesn't help them. And here it is. Punisher number 1. Nubarak has to make sure that he gets behind the gate. Can grant vision. There's the pull. And now they have to try and defend as best they can. Both of the teams have their level 7 now. This gives us once again conviction. We also got the death drop after Heatwave and Dragon Soul have been picked by Deathwing. And Nubarak with the subterranean shield once again. And they lost the wall and they're losing even more than that. The Mortar Punisher is able to dish out more damage and that fort is already down to 50% HP. Genji went in deep, maybe a little bit too deep. And here comes the spear connecting with Vala. Is there a swift strike? Can they maybe put more pressure on? And well, the answer is no. Not for now. We're 5 minutes in, not a single kill yet. Both teams still interested in stacking towards the late game as much as possible. Especially Vala and Jojo are doing that. Some structural damage has been done at the top. But we'll see if they can do a bit more here. Because now the camps are back up, so they can try to gain some experience on that end. And that is, of course, one of the points where Team Tsunami just generally did better. Their map control was better in the previous games, especially when they played with the Haka. They did a great job controlling the side lanes, and we're going to keep our eye on that too as the game continues. Mercenary experience is already slightly ahead. Minion experience fairly even, but still a slight advantage for Team Tsunami. We'll see if they can build on that later, or how this is going to play out. One way or another, the teams are aiming for level 10 abilities now, and once the heroic abilities are in play, we'll see if these combos are working out and how aggressive Team Tsunami wants to get in the first place. That's still a question that needs to be answered. What is Sonya going to do? Are they trying to fight more of a sustained battle? Or is she really committing to leap, which makes the setup even more squishy? But the composition would also be highly aggressive and would look for immediate kills. It is the Wrath of the Berserker though. And we got Anduin again with the word. Here's all the words. Tremendous words. It's the biggest words. Everybody says so. Anduin, he's here once again. It's sad. It's really sad. So yeah, there's the fight. Already falling sword coming in. Deathwing dropping down to Anduin without the ult yet. The arrow, big one, hitting 5. And here comes Anduin literally with a word. And down goes Genji. What a fantastic timing here by Anduin as he makes the big play. Keeps everybody alive. And then the mace to the face from Leo and the follow-up from Johanna dropped Genji. But that could have been such a horrific situation for C8. They were in so much trouble when that Hanzo arrow hit. I mean, that bad boy connected with 5. They still get the kill though. They're still able to get Jojo, so good for them. They follow up with a kill by themselves. 1 kill for 1, but yep, that was highly important what they just did. Gotta admit that fight was cool. 5-man arrow and then that was sexy as hell. So yeah, awesome. Okay, so the camps get taken. Both teams are going for the Shaman camp now. And it's time for the Shrine to activate. It's a 5 versus 5 once again. It's a nice push out at the top. That that fort is already in danger. But the position on the Shrine goes this time to Team Tsunami. So they are much, much faster on the objective and now reap the rewards, of course. It's the initial lead that they are going to look at. And now, of course, the question, what can they do with another Hans arrow? Where's the cocoon? When are they dropping that out? Already we see Genji just poking from the sides. Time and time again, trying to put especially pressure, of course, to Vala whenever there's an opportunity, since she is the only real range damage. You got, of course, Deathwing, and he's already moving in. Jojo's in trouble using the falling sword. They are going for the Anubara kill, and they get him. The cockroach is down. Anduin, he's talking, but nobody's there to listen. He drops the word and the ult, and it has no consequence in this case. But Vala is dead. Vala is dead, and here comes Gonda, slicing and dicing with Genji. Anduin is trying to get away, but Gonda shows absolutely no mercy. Everybody else is also retreating on the blue team side, and this is objective number 1 for the red team. They get the Arcane Punisher, and they drop them here. Nicely done. Level 13 talents now available too, so another power spike for them that they are trying to use to move through the middle. All the way up at the top, there's another push. Kyoja is coming in with a camp. I actually thought that was defeated earlier, but apparently they went for a late pull on it. So yeah, not bad. Now they have a two-pronged attack. Level 13 is ready for C8, but the problem is still the same. They lost the fort in the middle. They're likely to lose the one at the top, where it's at least going to suffer some damage. The rotation is already underway. With level 13 talents, we're now also getting the Siphoning Arrow. And as the Punisher gets defeated here, Leo activated his trade at the top lane. Big trade activation from Leo, and the fort is down. And the red team isn't stopping there. They are everywhere right now. Absolutely everywhere. They're at the bottom of the map going for another camp. They're trying to apply some pressure to the bottom fort. 2 have been destroyed. Leo is continuing with the Ominous Wraith. Royal Focus will follow as the level 16 talent. Yeah, and they are running the show now. 4 kills to 2, slight lead in experience, good damage output by them. And they are going for Vala again, but this time the stun of Anubarak is a bit too late. Now Leo's at the top, Deathwing is in the middle. There's still a couple of camps that are pushing the lane, and Sonya is trying to assist them as best she can. Genji is even moving into the middle as they are trying to push this even further. And is going to slowly poke down Leo, at least a little bit. They're obviously forcing them to spend some time with those camps, which is focusing, or which helps them to focus the bot lane a bit more, because everybody has to retreat and deal with that. Genji comes in, protected by the way. Deathwing hasn't died yet. Down here the party continues, 4 versus 4, and Sonya is slowly moving over too. Half a level until Tsunami hits 16. Half a level, and they're gonna have the big talent advantage. Yeah, I like it. It's a good third game. Who takes the lead here? Who gets that 1 point advantage over the opponent? Well, we're gonna figure it out in a second. The poke is still happening. They're trying to go for Jojo, but she activated the Iron Skin, and now we have level 16 talents. And that gives us Epic Enter. Anubarak is attempting to epically enter the opponent's backline and get that epicenter value. Giant Slayer is in. We got the final cut. Genji and Dignitas say hi. And off we go. With that advantage, they can try to push this bottom fort a bit further. The blue team is, of course, just sitting back. They're sitting back, they're sitting tight, they're defending, they're gathering more experience. They're trying to get the XP with Leo as he rotates. And they're closing the gap quickly so that they have their own level 16. But there's the stun. There's the second one. They're trying to go for Jojo, the arrow. And it hits hard. They want that fight, but they don't get it. C8, they use Deathwing to push them back, and they control the corridor. Shrine is activating. It will be an even talent fight as the blue team gets their next talent. And that will be big. It's gonna be very big because now we got Royal Focus. That's already huge and great synergy with the level 13 talent. On top of that, the Seething Hatred. Don't see a lot of Manticore in this particular series. But even bigger, Anduin. Glyph of Faith. That's tremendous. It's a tremendous talent for him. Anduin will have much easier time to keep everybody alive. And they need to, of course, ensure that Vala in particular is not gonna bite the dust again. But at least for now, they're not even making a play for it. Hello? Are they just letting this one go? Goal seems to be to move into the middle of the map instead and try to take some structures down, but they're really letting a frozen Punisher go? I don't get why. I really don't get it. They got all the cooldowns on their ults. They have a 5-man on the map. It's level 17 versus 17. Why the hell would you let that one go? I mean, I understand that they are up against an opponent that has a fountain up at the top and a fort, and they don't. But that is a very, very weird decision. I have literally never seen this in high-level play. Alright, that's a gamble. Let's see if it pans out. Can they defend without taking too much damage now? Because that's a huge risk they just ran. And I'm not quite sure why exactly they chickened out here. That is a Frozen Punisher, and Frozen Punishers are quite strong. They're really strong. They really help you to take these structures down with ease. And now we have a huge 5-man push up at the top. And C8 is currently getting their ass kicked here. That keep is low. That keep is gonna fall. I have no idea what the Chinese team is doing. I have no clue. That's a free keep that they just gave away. And it could be worse. If they lose heroes now, it's gonna be worse. And well, Leo, yeah, trade value activated. Genji took him down. Can they go core? I don't think so. I don't think they're gonna try even. But they can try to go into the mid lane and damage the keep here as well. So, yeah, there we go. And that is bad news. I heavily disagree with that decision that the blue team just made. I think it was a massive, massive mistake. And now we have Tsunami reaping the rewards. They took the keep down. It's a 2-level gap between them. They are nearly on level 20. Once then they hit the Storm Talon, they're going to be even farther ahead. Yeah, that was a big, big mistake that they just made there. So level 20 is going to kick in any moment. That means they have for 2 levels full map control. They can take all the camps. That bottom fort is going to be totally free. This one is free now. There's no way C8 can can defend this. No way. With you getting camps now and level 20, they're not going to make a move for it at all. So, yeah. Really? What is Jojo doing here? I mean, that's a full-on Sudoku move if I've ever seen one. Yeah, so she gets saved by Anduin, but that was spicy. You had no business there, girl. Like, none. As I said, this one's free. So they get the fort now. And here comes the next push. Yeah, they are trying for more aggression. And C8 gave them that. They need to close that experience gap now really quickly. Because if they don't, then they're gonna lose another objective. They're already losing the wall at the bot lane now. Now Tsunami needs to be a little bit careful as well. They are obviously in the driver's seat here. I mean, don't get me wrong. They're in a great position. But they need to make sure that they don't overextend and push this too hard. They still don't want to lose a hero at this point. So don't get too greedy. Play it safe, play it sound, do what you can, poke it out, use that level 20. You definitely should, but don't go too YOLO on them. So yeah, there's the damage against Deathwing. In the mid lane, by the way, Sonya is trying to push for the keep, and this one is taking damage. So they might have to split someone else off to help out, which of course opens opportunities up for Tsunami at the bottom of the map. And yeah, off we go. That's another tower that they can destroy right now. Sonya is still pushing the middle, I might add, as the blue team is trying to get experience, and that means that the keep is taking even more damage. So yeah, they have half a level until 20. The Shrine is going to activate soon too. Nobody's really dealing with the middle. Deathwing came in and helped out a bit, so Sonya has retreated. But that is still 50% of the hit points gone on this one. Now they're gonna get level 20, don't get me wrong. Hanzo is still at the bot lane. Should probably move back. I wouldn't stay too long here. And he has finally the level 20. Another difference in the meta is that Vala in Korea loves to go Acrobat. They really, really love to go into an arrow build with Acrobat. Now she, of course, has a big spike here too. We're even seeing the Burning Despair and the Light of Stormwind. So they're trying to go for the big play on the objective. There's not a single fort that has been dropped on the side of Team Tsunami. Not one. They haven't lost a single fort yet. Yeah, Cocoon is already out. They're forcing them through the choke point, and they're establishing the position here. Catapults are starting to push top lane too. 5 kills to 2. Here comes the Buried Alive. Just kidding, it's only an entomb. But it still locks them down. And Malfurion is in trouble, and Malfurion is dead. But so is Anduin. Genji dies too on the other hand, and they take Nubarak down. Everybody is insanely low on the blue team, but they are getting the kills. Unlucky plays here by the red team. Team Tsunami, they're so close to getting more kills, but they get wiped with 3 still surviving. Nicely coordinated by C8. Granted, they got a little bit lucky in a couple of these situations too, but that is always part of the game. This could have backfired against them, but as it stands, they win the objective and they can push through the bot lane a bit. But that was spicy. That was really spicy. There were so many moments there where it seemed that 1 or 2 heroes on C8's side would die in just another moment. Imagine Genji surviving, for example. He would have swept through. He would have like swept through them super easily. But as it stands, nicely done, well coordinated, and now of course they can push that bot lane a bit, and they can go for a counter keep. So they can try to go for the keep here and take that down. We have a few of the heroes back. I don't think they can save this one. Maybe if they can somehow pull the Punisher into the middle, they have a bit of a chance. Keep in mind that there's not too many attackers, but the keep just goes down too quickly. Jojo again, I know you got an iron skin, but you gotta be a little bit careful with this. So they are trying to force this. Punisher is going to take the keep down. At least he should. There's no way. Do they save this one? Nah. Holy shit, they're actually saving this. Okay. So they're able to save it. Keep is not gone. Well, that's bad news for C8. That is bad news indeed. No consistent catapult pressure for them. And the blue team is, of course, now facing off against a full 5-man once again. Alright. So we're looking for the next objective here and also for a bit of camp control. 7 kills to 7, level 22. And the catapult pressure at the top lane in particular is a big problem for C8 because there is no... I mean, again, the keep still stands. Which means no catapult pressure from the blue team, but a catapult on every single wave from Team Tsunami. And as we're heading into the late game now and past the 20-minute mark, these catapults are starting to hit like trucks. They're scaling hard into that late game. So on the next objective, that top lane is going to be a big problem. Sonya is controlling the bottom again. Blue team did so well in that last fight. They really did well. They had a great fight, was well coordinated. They got the early kill against Malfurion, which was important. But that arrow! Vala gets out. They want the dive. Vala, she's still alive, and instead it's Gondor that nearly falls. The arrow still connects. Leo about to connect the trade, but they're all disengaging. Holy shit! What a brawl! Everybody went hard on this one. Everybody went full YOLO. All the ults got popped. Nobody died, but Tsunami still stole the camp away. And Hanzo is just murdering also with so much damage that he gets out there. Look at Vala on the other hand. She's at 113,000 now. That build with Acrobat is doing work at this point. Absolute work. Leo a bit far out. Always needs to be careful. Granted, if you lose anybody, you want to lose Leo. He's the one that comes back the fastest. But this game is just getting crazy. Absolute crazy. Yeah, and while the top lane gets defended, they're poking the middle. And they're trying to get a free keep here. Now, they need to ensure that they're not overstaying. But they are doing a decent job on this. And at the bottom of the map, there's of course another lane that gets pressured. So I really love the way that Tsunami is controlling the lanes now. They need to. The better they control these lanes, the more advantageous the next objective is going to be for them. And let's not forget, they still have this camp. And it already gets pinged. Because, again, a catapult on every wave. And no counter pressure on the blue team side because they haven't taken the fort down. So once that you time this properly, this top lane is a problem. C8 will have to force a fight. They cannot play this slow. They have to force a battle or go for the objective as quickly as they can, because if they don't, the top lane is gonna win the game for Team Tsunami. Time is working in Tsunami's favor. That's why there's the aggression, and immediately the ults are getting popped. Already the falling sword, but yes, he escapes. And Nubarak is alive. The top lane. One catapult is in. Oh, that's bad news for C8. They use a lot of ults, and they just lost Leo. They just lost Leo. He got his bony ass handed to him. Here comes again Jojo. The cooldown reduction is doing wonders for her. They go for Kyoja! The arrow! But Sonya is dead. Vala is such a monster right now. 75 stacks for Vala. That initial hit does so much work, but they're still fighting for the objective. Malfurion is dead too. They pull as Vala is safe. And Deathwing, he's low, but he's still alive. Genji, he popped his own ult and was trying to drop our girl in the back, but he couldn't. So, Jojo still jumps out, but someone has to defend. Vala, how is she still alive? How did she survive again? Oh my god. Catapults on the core in just a second. They go for Hanzo. And they're gonna get him. The maze to the face. Deathwing, he started to defend. The shields are falling, but he's keeping the catapults away. The core is losing hit points, but it's not gonna be enough. Well, that's 10%, but still 30 stacks to 29. And the red team once again lost the battle for the objective. Vala is 142,000 damage, 118,000 on Hanzo. But they just can't drop her. It's always so close. Vala nearly died twice. But they still have her in the game and exploit that ruthlessly. Top lane again. One catapult in, second one on the way. Blue team pushes through the middle. They're trying to go for it all. Hanzo isn't here yet. If they can get another kill, that would be it. That would be absolutely it. Vala is murdering it. Acrobat, Seething Hatred, and the Siphoning Arrow over here. Top lane, keep it in mind. It could become a problem. But this Punisher is murdering. Hanzo, back to business. Nubarak, and he dies. Vala with another kill. And the keep is about to fall too. There's the arrow. They want Vala. They're looking for her, but they can't get her. Genji in trouble, and he's dead. He's dead, but so is Jojo. Malfurion is dead too. They're going for the core and talking core. Double catapult on the core in just a second. Are two enough? The fight! Deathwing! How is he alive? How is he alive? Are you freaking kidding me? And win with all the words. Oh, and they win the game. Unbelievable. The core is falling on the blue team side too, but the lead for C8 in this best of 5. To the Spider Queen, game number 4. Guys, it is party time. The blue team has just taken the lead, and I am a bit amazed. Now, again, coming into this, obviously, I look at the teams, I see former HGC players from Korea, and I'm like, alright, that's the favorite. But now, we have C8 in the leads on this one, which is kind of awesome. And that could mean that the Korean team, with players like Gonda, Kyoja, and Hyde, is dropping down into the losers bracket, which is insane when you think about it. I really want to see what's going to happen here. Once that level 20 was hit with Acrobat, with the cooldown reduction on Jojo and so many other things, the blue team really coordinated these fights especially well and was able to win the game. Now, it was incredibly close multiple times. As you could see towards the end when Team C8 went for the core, their own core lost hit points. So Tsunami didn't necessarily have to even beat them in the team fight. The only thing they had to do was buy more time. So it was super close there. Some of the fights were incredible too, because Vala was multiple times just 100 hit points away from dying, but survived. So one different play at one moment could have turned the entire game on its head and led to a kill for to a victory for Team Tsunami. But as it stands, that doesn't matter anymore, because they didn't. They lost. It is Team C8 who now has match point as we are heading into Tomb of the Spider Queen as our 4th map, and I am super excited for it. A first pick into Mephisto is happening. So, yeah. First pick into Mephisto. Diablo gets taken together with that. And we have Malfurion for height. So there's a Nubarak. They're playing it out with the same style. You want to go for a Nubarak again. But boy, is this gonna be good. Yeah, Diablo, of course, he can stack really easily on the baseline on Tomb, can just rotate. He has a lot of counters that he has. We got Tychus. Yeah, Tychus was pretty absent from a lot of the games. Now, he has been banned a couple of times, but given the priority that we saw for him in most of the other matches that have been played out in the tournament, that was kind of interesting. That the teams didn't really go for him as aggressively as others. Now, Stukov still gets banned, no surprise there. The ban on Jojo here on Tomb is still kind of interesting, since C8 wanted to go for him time and time again. Yeah, now Vala gets banned. That's actually kind of funny. The team that used Vala and just absolutely crushed him sees the Tychus pick on the other side and says, well, there's still a chance that you're going to add Vala as your second damage dealer. We don't want to. We have Mephisto already and we want to shape this up a bit differently. So now they ban out Vala. Yeah. Red Riding Hood is out the game. But here comes the Anduin ban. I gotta give him some credit. He did well. Now, I really like the Glyph of Faith play, the Leap of Faith plays that we've seen. But some of the timings that we saw on his ult, holy shit. I mean, seriously. He was able to save Vala multiple times, and that was some incredible performance there. So that team is really beasting it right now. And it's a lot of fun. It's a ton of fun to watch it. I really want this to go to Game 5. We have Greymane and Lucio. Okay. So Lucio is in for the rotations. And what do we get as the last two picks for the red team? For them again, they need to win here. If they lose this one too, then they are in the lower bracket. Then they drop out of the winner's bracket, straight down into the loser's bracket, and have to fight for the tournament life in that one. Alright, so we get Leoric for the bot lane. And what's gonna play here? Ah, Tacita! Alright, we are really going into some new territory. Not heroes that you see played in Europe a lot. That's true for Mephisto, that's true for Tacita. Occasionally Mephisto gets picked by Macke or some budget Macke, but that's about it. And together with Dibbles, we also get Urel now. That's a strong frontline that they have. Guys, it's getting exciting. Game number 4. Third one was awesome. Let's see if on Tomb we're gonna see a similar spectacular game. Let's head straight into the third game between Tsunami and C8. Game number 4. Yeah, the Spider Queen is definitely right. Prepare yourself. Sure, okay, on the left side, Mephisto and Greymane, the two damage dealers this time. Very strong front line too, Urel and Diablo. It always reminds me of the good old times when this dominant trio of Urel, Diablo and Deckard Cain was on this insane win streak within HGC. But we got Lucio as the support this time, not the old man. For Team Tsunami, as they are under pressure, we have again a Nubarak, this time together with Leoric, played by Kyoja. And for the damage, it is Tacita Tychus that gets set up here. They're going full StarCraft on the damage output with Malfurion as their lone support. Skull Missile, as we're starting into it. And I'm ready for it. Absolutely ready for this one. Here comes the move straight up for Urel, and she might actually die, and indeed she does. Leo comes in and slams her. Well done. Easy hit by him, and that is a kill. Alright. Now, that's a good start, but that's obviously not enough. They're starting the game with a kill, but let's see what more they can get here. On level 1, we also got the Consume Vitality now for Leoric. He's currently sitting at the bot lane. He's going to meet Urel again there. We have also the Soul Shield for Diablo. We're going to keep our eye a bit on Mephisto. At least for the meta that we have here on the Chinese server. We've now seen multiple times the Skull taken on level 1. The unyielding power has pretty much been the norm so far. So different from what we would see in the European scene, but still quite powerful. And they get the kill. They come in with Mephisto, and they're taking down Malfurion. And that, oh my god, they're starting with a massive brawl here, aren't they? The early kill against Urel, then the big 5v5 now in the mid lane. Malfurion down, everybody low, everybody looking for kills, just brawling it out, going for it as best they can. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. What a game. What a winner bracket game. And they're continuing with it. Another kill in the middle. Dibbles is down. The party continues. Greymane trying to get the kill against Gondor. Can he get out? Yes, and Tesla still dies. Oh, this is just awesome. This is absolutely awesome. What about Lulcio? He tries to get out and is dodging the grenade too. What an amazing game. Love it. Yeah, this is fun. 2 kills to 2. Both teams heading into level 4. Down at the bottom of the map. The choo-choo train is en route. And now we got the electric fence with the ghastly reach. So, consume vitality into ghastly reach for them. Camps are now slowly taken as well. Normally see teams split off lanes insanely quickly. But this time we have it a bit later on that those camps are focused on and taken. And now we have the Master Assassin on level 4. Again, you're looking at the passive more so than anything else. But given the brawly nature of some of the maps that we've seen between the two teams, it could very well be that we're finally seeing a Tigers player that completes the quest and gets even more value out of it. So Diablo already getting attacked, and Nuburak gets body blocked. It's going to be another mad fight, isn't it? Here comes Urel. Dibbles from the top. And Uberak with a triple stun. And Mephisto with all the damage. Oh, Uberak! 100 HP. But Urel, she doesn't survive. She went deep for the kill attempt and couldn't get it. And then Noob dove in once more, attempting to get the stun so that they can get a second kill. Gotta love this shit. Look how old they are. Tassadar, he's dead. Only a dead Protoss is a good Protoss, as he's trying to move his way to victory. But this isn't StarCraft, baby. This is Heroes of the Storm. Here comes the Leo kill, and that all of a sudden results in the blue team taking another lead in kills. God, what a game already. We're only 4 minutes in, and they're already just killing it here. It's getting crazy. Yeah, Leo gets attacked again. Kyoja's on the way back out, gets stunned and dropped. And this is starting to get scary because C8 has now denied multiple gems to the red team, and Team Tsunami is in real trouble because there's a level 7 on the board for C8 and also a potential turn-in, whereas Tsunami has lost plenty of gems. This is getting dangerous, very dangerous. It's game 4. If the blue team locks in the W, then it is over in the winner bracket for Team Tsunami. Then they have to make their way through the lower bracket. Malfurion with a level 7 now. We got the Nature's Cure, Beam Alignment, and the Subterranean Shield. Tigers hasn't made a choice yet, but given the build that he's rolling so far, I would say that it's going to be a grenade follow-up. And here come the Web Weavers. Blue team's Web Weavers first touching ground. They are trying to snowball this. They don't want map 5. Of course they don't want a map 5. This is a strong Korean team they're going up against. They want to end it right here, right now. They got the lead and they fought hard for it. They were behind multiple times, but this is bad. Mephisto! Mephisto is dead and they don't get a counter kill. Does Tigers know that he didn't take a level 7? Because he has still not picked, and I don't see a reason for him to wait. There it is. There it is. Standard talent. Melting point for him. Off we go. Bot lane, mid lane, Web Weaver still intact up at the top, doing some solid damage too. But they're burning it down. They're burning it down quickly. But look at the experience lead. That's bad. That's bad news for Tsunami. Once again, the stun against Diablo also doesn't connect. They're rotating over. They're trying to get the kill. They're blocking him. But here comes Mephisto. So much damage. And Nuburak is dead. Mephisto is ripping them a new one. Mephisto is absolutely crushing them. And there comes the kill on the fort. And at the bottom, they're going for another one. Check the damage out. Keep an eye on Mephisto. Look at Mephisto here. They're coming in with the first kill. And then the follow-up as they're going for kill number 2 and kill number 3. The fort at the bottom is now gone. 2 forts down just with the first objective. They got level 10. It's a 2-level lead. They're absolutely stomping them. Mephisto is at 27,000 damage. 27,000. And they're going for boss. 6 minutes in and they're going for boss. And the thing is, why wouldn't they? They have level 10 and the red team is making absolutely no attempts to even move close. So here comes the Consume Souls. They're just YOLOing it out. Gives them a bit of vision, get a bit of an idea. We also have on top of that the Lightning Breath. Rayman hasn't made a choice yet. And there's 2 transform moves now for Tsunami. They got Archon and they also have Odin. But they're trading Web Weavers for... Well, not really. Normally I would say you trade the Web Weavers for the boss defense, but that's more of a late game approach. Now the boss shouldn't really be strong enough that they have to do that, so they will burn it down as much as they can, but they should still be able to push with the Web Weavers a little bit. And the question really remains, what can they do here? They need to close this gap a bit. It's 8 kills to 4. That doesn't sound like much, but the Web Weaver in the mid lane is already getting destroyed. And they need some kills, they need some momentum, they need to get a foothold here. They're in trouble. And real trouble here. So for now, the bot lane, they're trying to establish something here, I suppose, but even that isn't really working. In the middle of the map, can they maybe get a kill somewhere? And I say no. Web Weaver's about to be defeated. Tsunami hasn't done anything. If they can get the Urel kill, yeah, that was a good start. But the ult gets immediately used, and Lucio's here too. The Urel gets out, they're getting desperate. Level 13 is so close, and there it is. The advantage, the talent advantage. In comes the Lightning Breath. Can they get the kill? Kyoja moving out. Everybody is attempting to retreat. The fort isn't here to help them. And Kyoja is dead. Tranquility from Malfurion. But they're going for more kills. They go for Tychus and they kill him. We got the bullet. There's the fence. Another kill as Malfurion gets dropped. They are crushing them. Absolutely crushing them. Gonda goes down to 12 kills to 4. C8 is shitting all over Team Tsunami. No chance. No chance. Yeah, that is not a tsunami what we're observing right now. That's not even a mighty gust. That's not even a weak gust. That's nothing. It's like a bit of a weak breeze that is blowing through the leaves or something, but that's about it. Currently, the blue team is absolutely crushing them. It feels a little bit like the last game or the last map broke the spirit of the red team. After they lost the first game, C8, they got angry. They got really angry. And they got... I mean, again, they have so much momentum right now. And just on a psychological setup, coming back into this game here is... it's going to be nearly impossible. You have to really, really dig deep to turn this around. If C8 gives them an opportunity, then I could see it happen. But outside of that, it just doesn't really feel like Tsunami has what it takes. 13 versus 13. Here comes the defense. Odin gets popped. And they're starting to make the play with another Entomb. Leo gets focused, but there's the kill against Grammy. The doggy is down. Lucio gets out with 60 hit points. 60 hit points by Lucio. The beetle nearly killed him. The beetle nearly killed him, but he survives. And now it's again the red team that's on the run. Diablo comes in and finishes what Mephisto started. There's the kill, there's the follow-up. Tacita down, Malfurion is down too. And this is getting crazy. More than just a little bit crazy, because we have a 4 versus 3 in the map. Level 16 talents are in play. Full on spec into the Skull Missile with the Apport Skull and the Lightning Reaction. And at the 10-minute mark, the 11-minute mark, the keep in the mid lane is falling. C8, they are just crushing it. The Chinese team is so insanely powerful here. It's absolutely incredible. That's really impressive. I can't remember. The last time that I've seen a Chinese team dominate a Korean top team like this was 2017 or so, when we still had Edward Gaming, E-Star Gaming, and all those boys in play. But this is just nuts. Tychus is down. They're just farming them. It's Farmville. They're playing Farmville. This is not Heroes of the Storm anymore. They're just farming the entire map. They haven't lost a fort. Guys, again, look at this. They haven't lost a fort. Like, all these forts haven't even taken damage. Like, the walls are still intact on 2 of these lanes. So, right now, with every single fort destroyed on the side of Tsunami and them being 3 levels behind. 3 levels. This is a Korean team with top HGC players. Former HGC players, granted, but still. And they make them look like... what? They make them look like quick match. It's bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. They have no forts left in the middle. It's so difficult for them to access any of the turn-in points. They nearly have enough gems for a turn-in. Their second one, by the way. But they don't have level 16. Their stats disadvantage is really huge. And they don't have a fallback option. There's no forts to protect them in the middle. There's no fountains that they could tap. So now the boss gets taken again. And of course, they do the only thing they can do. This time, they are trading the Web Weavers for boss. As mentioned previously. Time and time again. Leo is at least trying to do some work now. And is ghosting out, so... yeah, that he can get another minion wave. I guess he says, okay, even if I die, who gives a shit? I'm gonna respawn. Yeah, that's not happening, my friend. Kyoja might even die here. Yeah, well, scratch the might. He is gonna die. It's just a matter of time. Boss gets defended at the top lane. Leoric is down. Boss gets attacked here. By now, the damage output on Mephisto's side is at 52,000. 52,000. Tigers is 44k, and that includes his Odin plays. Yeah, it's crazy. They're defending at the top. Raymond is just chunking it down in Worgen form. And the red team is finally arriving. They have now level 16. This is the only moment where they can try an even fight. The only moment. 16 versus 16 talents. Outside of this, they have no chance. What's the red team doing? They're trying to force a battle, and the blue team is very happy to oblige. They're jumping as well. You want to fight? Let's fight. Let's go. Let's see how that goes for you. Tacida is nearly dead and is desperately trying to escape here. Urel is already eager to cut him off. And they're just on the run. That's a lot of ults that they already popped. Leo is back, and the Entomb misses, adding insult to injury here. And they lose Tacida. Tacida is just gone. Tacida is gone. Level 20 is on the horizon now for C8. Leo, he's dead again. He came, he saw, and he got murdered once more. Benny, VD, BG. Level 20. The first keep is down. Guys, they can go for core. That has to be game. They go for Tigers, and he is dead. The Chinese team is crushing. It is insanely impressive. Incredible performance by C8. Incredible performance. Tsunami, they got their ass kicked. And now C8 moves on to the winner bracket final, whereas Tsunami drops down into the losers bracket. GG and well played. A 3-1 victory for C8.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.